Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Comic Book Users. Welcome to another episode of the show alongside Mr. Wild Bill.
Hello, comic book fans. Yeah, welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Users. It's another episode of What You Got.
New Haul Day. And as we've done, it seems like almost every time we've done these of late, we usually always get one key in our little new haul. So I did my last two, I did that. And Bill's got a key here today, too. But we're not going to show you that right off the bat. So
of course not.
No.
Stick
we
around
got to make you wait.
end.
We got to hook it till the end, right?
Please click the like button now.
Yes.
Or the notification bell so you see me kept in the loop every time we have a new video. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support, your comments.
Do you know I was walking out of the house this morning and
you forgot your comics?
No, my wife goes to me. She goes, "Oh, that's a really cool Punisher shirt." And I'm like, "Yeah, I've had it for like 3 years." She's like, "Well, I never noticed it because my wife never even pays any attention to any shirt that I'm wearing."
Not into it.
No, she's not into it. But she's like, "That's pretty cool, though."
Well, she'll sit down and watch a movie with you, though, right? Marvel movie?
Some of them, yes.
Okay.
Not all of them. Some
so she hangs in there a little bit. She's
depends on what the character
she
is.
tolerates somewhat. That's funny, though. She just noticed the shirt.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I've worn it like plenty of times.
Stand up. Show it off. Stand up for a second.
Oh. See? It's very cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's the only Punisher shirt I own.
It's a unique version of the skull.
It is.
It says a little twist.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I think he looks cool.
So New Haul Day.
New Haul Day.
Yeah, I did a mail call to our buddies.
To our friends.
Yeah, so I have one book in the box in the cart there, and then finally over the last weekend, I decided to add to it, and then kept it kind of short and sweet, kind of expensive, 5 books in total, you know. Yeah, tax, like 20 bucks in tax and delivery. That's a sticker. That's like walking through the door at a con kind of thing.
Yeah, basically.
So I got Howard the Duck number 30.
Nice, that's a good one.
I saw this a couple of years ago at a flea market, but I don't know. I think it was like $5 or more. The owner wasn't there to haggle. Some substitute was there, so I didn't bother. But this was $2.50, man. So I
can't beat that.
Yeah, cheapest book in the haul.
And now, how many you need now to complete?
Just need 33, the last one.
Got to do it. Just got to do it, right?
I was just posting this on a Facebook group page that I belong to, and some guy asked me if I'm getting the corrected version or the misprint or error version. I'm like, I didn't know there were 2 different versions of the last cover. No, the last one, number 33, apparently has 2 different. I guess they had a misprint or some kind of mistake, and he said that they made a corrected cover. So there's an error cover and a misprint. Whatever, I don't know. I don't know if it's a misprint, but there's something wrong with one of them, and then they corrected it. So he asked me which version I was going to get.
I bought that off the rack, so I'm wondering which one I have.
You better go home and look.
I'll have to take a look, yeah.
That's like that SpiderMan with the tattoos in it, with first appearance of the Hobgoblin. It came with tattoos, and I bought a copy of it. It has no tattoos. Oh. So my book is like worthless compared to the ones with the tattoos.
Yeah.
Could I buy tattoos from a box of bubblegum and stick them in there and
maybe
lie about it?
Not the same, right?
Wouldn't be.
Would anybody give a shit? I don't know.
Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man number 1.
Yay! Number 1, yay!
Yeah, this is, I shouldn't say hard to find, but I haven't found it for a price that I would like. I passed this up in a comic book store once. And then after that, every time I saw it, prices were higher than what I saw in the store. But at the time, I didn't buy it because it was still at least $20. And I had other comics. I don't know. One day I was in this comic store. That place we went to in Connecticut, the Cave.
Oh, Goblin's Cave.
Yeah, I went. No, the other one, the Cave, with the talker dude that don't shut up.
Oh yeah, what was the name of that place?
The guy that wouldn't let us tape.
Yeah,
I don't know. The owner doesn't. It's like, oh, shut up.
Anyway, what was the name of that place? That wasn't Goblin's Cave.
No, it was called the Cave. It used to be called the Bat Cave, and it got sued. They had to stop.
So what's the other place in Connecticut?
The Goblin's Cave.
Oh, so it is the Goblin's Cave.
Yeah, they both got Cave or something.
That's weird.
And a Goblin's Tavern, isn't it?
Tavern? No, that doesn't make sense.
Why not?
Goblin's Lair? I don't know. Whatever.
One has Goblin. Anyway.
Kirk, help us out here, buddy. Man, Jesus, we don't know what
we're talking about. One of those stories where you pass on a book and then you every time you see it, it's way higher. And you're like, I should have bought it.
So this is the third appearance of the Tarantula, correct? Right? Because he was in 133 and 134.
134, I believe.
Yeah, and then
was the first,
and it was 134 and 135, right? Because him and the Punisher were in the follow up to that.
Okay.
And I think this is the third appearance of the Tarantula.
But it's almost identical cover to 134.
We were just talking about that. I never understood this. I'm like, why would you?
It's the same jumping sidekick from the Tarantula.
You can't do anything else with this guy. It's like it's a cool cover,
but that's his weapon. Those stingers on his feet. So anyway, I'm happy to get this. Now I just need like issue 9 and like maybe 12, and I've got most of them between 1 and 20 now. I got the upper teens. I need. There's about 5 or 6 I still need, but I'll need number 9. And anyway, great stories in Peter Parker's. I'd like to try and get the first 30 issues. I got probably about
we were just talking before we went.
Pete doesn't have any of these.
I don't have any. I had a bunch of them.
You said you had this one.
I had this one and a bunch of others, but I sold them like years ago. And I've often thought about going, but it's like, do you need 2 Spider-Man series? But we collect like all these Batman ones. Batman's got like 5 different series.
This was their Superman, Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
This character was their bread and butter. So this was a new title at the time in 1976.
Yeah.
To run parallel with Amazing Spider-Man and Marvel Tales, which were reprints of Amazing Spider-Man. So here's the third Spider-Man title on the rack, right?
Yep.
So
and plus the team-up thing that he did, right?
So that's a fourth one. But this was another moneymaker from Marvel.
Yeah, I probably should go and get some of these.
Good stories. I remember maybe my second year collecting, we were doing cons, and there were guys that were selling books for like 30 books for, $20. Remember that?
Yeah.
And a lot of these I was picking up. I picked up a good run of like 5 or 6 of these for like $1 a piece for like between issues 2 and 14 or 15, 16, all for like $1 each, man. But
do they bring back a lot of like the
memories? Of course, they bring back memories.
The villains that appear in the Peter Parker book, are they mostly the same villains, or did they introduce new ones? Yeah.
I saw a few guys that I hadn't seen before, which are like in like the later issues, like number 30.
Right.
But like issue 20 has a lizard. Issue 127 I have has a lizard in it. Now issue 200, Sal Buscema art, has Green Goblin on the cover. So yeah, there's other characters in the upper 100s that I don't know, that I've never seen before. But I've got between 30 and 40 Spectacular Spider-Mans in my collection. Most of them between issues 1 and I like issue 38 I have has Morbius in it.
Okay.
And then there's a big gap between issue 38 and then my next one is like number 127, which has the lizard, which I actually bought from the Upper Deck, which is a shop in Peekskill, my hometown. I used to buy back in the late 80s.
And I would assume this series is more geared towards him outside the Spider-Man costume, the Peter Parker character, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't call it that, right? Like, he's Spider-Man in it, of course. But I'm sure
it's weird because I guess his life is parallel in both books at the same time, because they'll do flashbacks of his life, and they'll make reference, see Amazing Spider-Man for issue blah blah blah, what he's talking about, and then they do the same thing in the Amazing Spider-Man. He'll make comments like, for example, I remember just recently reading a book where he's having issues with the Black Cat in his relationship, and it's in a Spider-Man book, and they're making references that what he's talking about happens in Spectacular Spider-Man.
Gotcha. Okay.
But that's later issues, like closer to 100.
Okay.
This is the early years of 76.
Yeah.
So early years, I went with the early years of Conan, number 15, which I needed because now I have all of them between number 10 and 20. So this like wipes out the teens, solidifies that run.
Yep.
So I need, the only Conans I'm really interested in getting are between 1 and 10 that I need. And then the 2 expensive ones were Red Sonja.
Red Sonja, so that's what, 24 and 25?
Or 23 and 24, something like that. Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah, I hear you.
I got those.
So I need obviously number 1, but you hooked me up with a reprint of that. So
yep.
That goes for like $200 now. A few years ago when I started collecting, it was like $100. So it's like double.
I bought it for somewhere between $75 and $125. I don't remember exactly, but it didn't break the bank. Yeah,
but it's up there, and
that's why when I saw the replica,
it's cool. But this Barry Windsor Smith.
Yeah.
So what's cool is I have the issue before this, so this will be a good read when I get around to it. Great cover.
Got the Elric character created by Michael Moorcock, right? So this was at the time a really big crossover because, of course, Elric that's not a Marvel character at all. So somehow they worked out a deal with Moorcock to allow that to happen. So, Holy Grail for Bill coming up.
Yes,
might not quite be a key, but it's pretty close.
Key for me because it closes a big gap in my Thor collection, which is issue 225, the first appearance of Fire Lord. What's cool about this is in great shape. Again, another story. I saw this online years ago. It's like $16. And it was gone. And then after that, it was always $35, $40.
If you can find it, right? Because this is not one that
I've
pops
never
up
seen this book ever at a con. Nobody ever has it. And it's the first appearance of Firelord, so therefore they use that as the hook for the value on the book. Yeah. He's not that great of a character. I mean, he's all right, you know. But they're kind of...
First appearances for anyone.
Yeah, and if he makes it into the movie scene, then there's an excuse to jack this book up. So
yeah, which hasn't as of
so
yet,
I found this at basically double the price I originally saw it for, basically. And I was like, all right, you know what? It's better than quadruple, which is normally where it's at. So I was like, I'll go for double the price of what it used to be 5 years ago. So this was like a major haul, but now I have every Thor from 184 to 300.
Pretty cool.
So yeah, wipe off that gap.
That's pretty cool. It's a pretty good issue too. I mean, you got these battling.
Well, I don't know yet. I haven't read it, but the next issue has got a great cover too with Firelord on it.
Yeah. Yeah, him and Thor have a weird relationship going forward from here. They become friends after this initial battle.
Is this
they fight again? And you know,
I believe is this Buscema, John Buscema cover?
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is really good. This was during a time too where Hercules appeared fairly regularly in the Thor comic, which is pretty cool. I always like them two together. Yeah, it's a good one.
And then later on, Firelord poses as like a second Silver Surfer.
Well, he's the Herald of Galactus here, so that's when they introduce him. He is actually a replacement for the Silver Surfer.
Oops! Spoiler.
Yeah.
Oops. Bob dies at the
end. Poor Bob.
So I every time I order comics, I'm like, should I get something? I shouldn't. If I should buy comics and just want to restrict space, I should just buy Spider-Man comics. But they're so damn pricey. But I've always had my eye on this book. And one time we were in Zap Comics and they had this up on the wall and it was like really pricey, I thought. It was like $175. I was like, wow. I was like, for that? It's the third John Romita book though, but get a load of that cover, man. Yep. That is just
that's a classic.
Awesome. Yep. Third John Romita book. And I love the webs and the armpits, you know?
Well, this guy really knew how to draw the character. That's the important
thing. And I just love the defeated look on the Goblin, the saggy hat, you know.
The fire all around.
Yeah.
It's a good.
The Batwing in the back is a shadow, you know. It just screams like classic comics from that era, you know. Yeah. And this is the characters already. He's in his fourth year. This comic, I think. Came out, I wasn't even 2 years old, man. I was like a year and a half old when this came out. Yeah. A few months later, like 4 or 5 months later, I would have been 2 years old, man. This book is 1966.
That's cool. You got this. I was pretty stoked.
And I got it for under $100. I got it for a little over $75, so I was happy, you know.
I don't remember how much I paid for this.
Oh, you have it?
Oh yeah.
It figures. Yeah. But
I have a lot.
I know you have a lot. You got almost all of them. You got an amazing sub 100 collection of Spider-Man. You really do.
I'm just missing those.
But this is now my oldest Spider-Man in my collection.
Cool.
My previous oldest is number 54. So, but this is definitely the this is the most I think I've spent on any of my Spider-Mans sub 100. You know. But I'm happy to add it to my collection, and I don't think I'll go anything lower than number 40 unless I find something, you know.
You just got to keep looking, and you know, I mean, you said it perfectly. I mean, we've been talking about this. Sometimes, you know, when we go and buy comics now and get a little haul, it really feels good to at least get one really long sought after, maybe even a key with each thing. So you got a bunch of cheapies there, and you got two right now that you've been looking for forever.
This one, so this one's really hard to find. Yeah. So I haven't ordered online in a while, and I was just like, you know what, it'd be nice to close some gaps. And what started was this book here. It was just this book, and it sat around in the cart for a couple weeks. That's what I do. I put stuff in. I come back if it's not taken.
Yeah.
There were 2 copies of this at this price, so I was lucky. So it didn't get snagged. I'll spot auctions and stuff or whatever, but I was like, you know what?
So you were
me take
very
a look.
efficient with this order because you only have one left to complete the Howard the Duck run. You got a number 1.
And now I just need number 9,
Right, so
and then that closes my gap. I think I need number 12 maybe, and then I need like another 4 or 5 between like number 15 and 20.
Okay, so you got that.
And then there's a few in the 20s, obviously. But so you took about another 10 issues to get the first 30 books.
Yep.
But this was a big, what do you call, gap to fill and get it out of the way. Mm-hmm. So I've been plugging away at the other books.
Got a classic early Conan.
Yeah.
Right?
So now after this book, now I can focus anything below this number on my list. That's the next Conan priorities, and I doubt I'll find those girly Red Sonja books that are cheap
I
price.
lucked out because I found the one I paid $7 for.
Yeah, he didn't know what he
The guy
had.
at the con didn't know what he had, right? And I was like,
got
"Ooh,"
lucky.
I'm like $7. I'm like, this is like going for.
I don't find those offers very often.
I don't
you
either,
know?
but
it's never you never find someone with a box of these old ones like this. It's like, oh.
I will say on the Conan stuff, all the ones you do need, you can get them for pretty good prices.
I saw one at a con that we just went down to, that one in Clifton, and the guy wanted like $25 for number 4, and I was like, ugh.
Well, if you're talking about a 20, that's not a bad deal.
Yeah, I was like, I should hold out and go to Zap. I might find one for 15. You know, I don't know if you get lucky. You know, but anyway.
The problem is you start passing up on these things and you never see them again.
That's what happened with this one.
Yeah.
The Spectacular. Yeah. As I said before. So, anyway, guys, thanks for watching Comic Book Geezers again. I hope you like my new haul extravaganza. Thanks for being here, guys. We will be back soon with more comic book stuff.
As always, we're going to visit 1974. We had a request to our favorite comics from 1974, so that will be our next episode because it's 50 years ago that
1974 was rolling around.
Yeah, so
that was the year of the gas crisis, the oil crisis.
Yep, amongst other things. And
I'll talk about that then. I'll go off on a tangent then, perhaps. But yeah, stay tuned for that. That's upcoming next.
Yep.
So, as always, thanks for being here. I'm Wild Bill, and for Pete Pardo saying thanks for watching Comic Book Geezers. We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Thanks for your subscriber button hits and your likes, and we'll see you in just a couple days with more lunacy, specifically from 1974. Till then,
see you.
Take care.
Bye.